Hello and welcome to your daily word. Hello everyone, my name is Pastor Kara, and today is the fourth part of our series on stewardship. Reported in the news last month, the Ontario math curriculum will be changing and will be teaching personal finance from grades 1 to 8. This is a great skill for children to be learning for their future. Teaching things like money management is an essential skill for all to know, including us as followers of Jesus Christ. We are to be good stewards of our time and talents, but we are also to be good stewards of our money. Just like the parable Jesus told about the master and his 3 servants, we need to learn how to properly manage what was given to us so it returns the best profit for God. Let me ask you this. Who is in control? Do you control your money, or does your money control you? It's actually a trick question. Both answers are wrong. The answer should be that God controls it. Remember, everything comes from God, so you aren't being trusted with just the money that you're making. You're being trusted with the money that God has given you and that ultimately belongs to Him. Money isn't something we hold on to build something here on earth. Our goals should be higher than that. Matthew 6:19-21 says, "Do not lay up for yourself treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But lay up for yourself treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." So how can we be good stewards of our money? The Bible actually gives clear wisdom and practices for believers. First is to give back to God. It was a practice that the first fruits of a harvest would be given over to God. Leviticus 27:30 says, 1/10 of the produce of the land, whether grain from the fields or fruit from the trees, belongs to God and must be set apart as holy for Him. The word tithe means 1/10. This is when 1/10 of the first fruits would be given over to God. This was eventually adapted into law for the Hebrew people, as it's important to acknowledge God first and to give back to Him a portion of what He's given to His people. We have adapted this today, where we bring the first 10% of our earnings as tithe to our local church community. Not only is this a great way to honor God, but it will be a blessing to you. Proverbs 3:9-10 says, "Honor the Lord with your wealth and the first fruits of all you produce. Then your barns will be filled with plenty, and your vats will be bursting with wine." You see, investing in God and His kingdom never brings a bad return to us. We often fear that giving our money away is a bad practice because what if there's nothing left for us? Well, God answers this fear in His Word. Malachi 3:10-12 says this, "Bring all the tithes into the storehouse, so there will be enough food in my temple. If you do, says the Lord of heaven's armies, I will open the windows of heaven for you. I will pour out a blessing so great you won't have enough room to take it in. Try it. Put me to the test. Your crops will be abundant, for I will guard them from insect and disease. Your grapes will not fall from the vines before they are ripe, says the Lord of heaven's armies. Then all nations will call you blessed, for your land will be such a delight, says the Lord of heaven's armies." In other words, tithe. You can test God in this area, and He will not disappoint you. Take your first 10% and give it to God. Secondly, avoid debt. Debt is never a good situation to be in. When you're in debt, again, your money isn't yours. It belongs to someone else. It's an absolute terrible feeling to work hard to earn a paycheck that then has to be handed over to somebody else. In Romans 13:8, Paul writes this, "Owe nothing to anyone except to love one another, for he who loves his neighbor has fulfilled the law." There are some things in life that require us to go into debt for, but it should always be manageable. Don't spend beyond your means. Keep your spending under control so you won't end up owing someone else. Thirdly, don't be afraid to give to others. With the amazing blessing our God has given us, we should take the opportunity to bless others. This is called offerings, to take care of those in need. In Proverbs 3:27 it says, "Do not withhold good from those to whom it is due, when it is in your power to do so." Proverbs 11:24-25 says, "Give freely and become more wealthy. Be stingy and lose everything. The generous will prosper. Those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed." And Luke 6:38 says, "Give and you will receive. Your gift will return to you in full, pressed down, shaken together to make room for more, running over and poured into your lap. The amount you give will determine the amount you get back." Again, giving doesn't mean that you won't have enough for yourself. In fact, it means that you're going to get more back. And lastly, work hard and save. Be a person who goes out there and earns their money and then saves their money. Proverbs 21:5 says, "Good planning and hard work lead to prosperity, but hasty shortcuts lead to poverty." Proverbs 21:20 says, "The wise have wealth and luxury, but fools spend whatever they get." Building a responsible budget is a wise way of stewarding your money. The Bible teaches the wisdom of taking the time to plan where your money should go and to save for the future. So how are you stewarding the money God has given you? Have you been struggling? I would encourage you today to sit down and look at all of the blessings and finances God has given you, then to apply these biblical principles of stewarding your money and just wait and see how God can work through you and work through your finances. Thank you so much for joining us today. Come back tomorrow for the next Daily Word. God bless.